So again, here we want to factor out the 4 to make it easier to complete the square. Although this one here, since 4x squared, that does actually make a square. We could actually try to make a perfect square with the 4 and the 24x's. However, it's probably much easier just to do it with our 6x, x squared and 6x. So I've set up there how to get my perfect square. Again, I need to complete the square here, so I need to take half of 6 and square it. And then I need to balance the equation. So I've got 4 groups of 9 on one side, so I'm going to add the same amount to the other side to keep it all balanced. I'm going to complete the square here, so now I've gotten rid of the square and the x, right? I have the square all on this expression here. Okay, so I don't have to worry about getting rid of the square and the times on the x. I can now just get rid of the squared on the x expression. Okay, so this then works out to be 18. Solve this algebraically. Now we can undo all the different parts of this equation. We can undo the times with the divide. So I'm going to end up with 9 over 2. Okay, I'm going to square root both sides. Anytime I undo with square root, I have to remember the plus minus, so I get 9 over 2. And then I get x is equal to negative 3, which is my middle, or vertex, over plus minus 9 over 2. So by completing the square, we're going to be able to solve the equation by square rooting both sides of the equation. So here, if I tried getting rid of the square by square rooting, I have this times 6 on the x that messes up the square rooting. So to avoid that, we need to make this quadratic into a perfect square, and we can undo the perfect square by square rooting and just solve algebraically. We can isolate the x with not having the conflict of times 6 with the square root. Okay, so let's do extras here. We're going to solve this. Okay, so again, the process is we're going to take the middle term, square it. We want to try to get all the other constant terms to the other side of the equation. Okay, I'm going to complete the square here. I'm going to balance the equation here. Okay, I'm going to put it in its perfect square form. Then I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to undo the square with the square root. So I end up with plus minus square root 24. And then I can get rid of the plus with the minus. So I end up with negative 3 plus minus square root 24. That simplifies to 2 root 6. You can leave it as square root 24 if you like.